Here's an article from Post. Great divorce reshapes family dynamics. Fathers lose touch while mothers grow closer to adult children. We've talked about great divorce before. We've talked about many of the dynamics that are happening right now and how some of these men are going to end up in the old man mojo dojo casa house. So, men better take heed and start building stronger relationships with their children because they could end up like this. Let's get into the article. A recent study examining the effects of great divorce on parent child relationships provides valuable insights into how these late life separations are reshaping the familial landscape, especially in terms of emotional and practical support structures. The findings indicate that great divorce tends to lead to a decrease in contact and emotional closeness between fathers and their adult children, but tends to lead to a strengthening between the relationships between mothers and their offspring. The research was published in the Journals of Gerontology, Series B. Great divorce has notably increased over recent decades, with the divorce rate among adults aged 50 and over in the United States doubling between 1990 and 2010. Similarly, in Germany and other European countries, divorce rates among those aged 60 and over has seen a significant rise. This trend signals a shift in societal norms and raises questions about the consequences for family relationships, especially between aging parents and their adult children. The rise of great divorce occurring among couples over the age of 50 coincides with the trend of extended parent child relationships. With these prolonged connections, parents maintain significant influence in their children's lives well into adulthood. Consequently, parental divorce may impact not only individual outcomes during childhood, but also during adulthood. The limited opportunities for repartnering among gray divorcees underscore the significance of understanding how parent adult child relationships evolve post divorce. Moreover, the dynamics of these relationships can be influenced by the gender of both the parent and the child, potentially leading to trade offs where a stronger bond with one parent may weaken the relationship with the other. Therefore, gaining insight into these relationships is essential. For their study, researchers utilized data from the German Family Panel. This comprehensive data set included 12 waves of information collected from representative sample of more than 12,000 residents spanning 3 birth cohorts. The researchers narrowed their focus to adult children aged 18 and over whose biological parents were both alive and married at the time of their first observation. This selection process resulted in a final sample size of 9,092 individuals. The research focused on three main aspects of parent child solidarity: associational frequency of contact, affective, emotional closeness, and functional provision of support, and how these dimensions are affected by the occurrence of gray divorce. The findings indicated that the effects of gray divorce vary significantly by gender of both the parent and the child involved. Firstly, the study found that gray divorce generally leads to a decrease in the frequency of contact between adult children and their fathers, suggesting a strain in the father child relationship post divorce. This reduction in associational solidarity with fathers post divorce is contrasted by an increase in frequency of contact with mothers. This indicates that while the relational ties to fathers weaken, those with mothers tend to strengthen. Regarding emotional closeness, there was a slight decline in affective solidarity with fathers, underscoring the emotional distancing that can occur after the parent's marriage ends. On the other hand, the emotional closeness with mothers and their adult children either remains stable or slightly improved, further emphasizing the divergent impacts of gray divorce based on the parent's gender. In terms of functional solidarity, which encompasses the provision of emotional and instrumental support, the findings were more mixed. While support to fathers generally decreased, indicating a reduction in overall support fathers received from children, the changes in support provided to mothers post divorce were less consistent. In adulthood, parents continue to play significant roles in individuals' life trajectories. Um, I can't pronounce his name, told the Post. However, in context of great divorce, there is a notable shift in adult-child solidarity, with mothers typically receiving more support while fathers face a heightened risk of social isolation. This gender dynamic highlights the enduring influence of traditional gender roles on family dynamics post great divorce. The researchers also explored the effects of grade divorce on parent child relationships by considering the gender of the adult child. They found that the consequences of divorce were generally more pronounced in father daughter relationships, which experienced greater declines in both contact frequency and emotional closeness compared to mother son relationships. On the other hand, mother daughter relationships often showed a strengthening in emotional bonds and an increase in support activities, indicating a potentially compensatory mechanism where daughters become more involved in their mothers' lives post divorce. But the study's focus on German sample size raises questions about generalizability of the findings across different cultural and social contexts. The unique familial and welfare structures of Germany, as compared to other countries, might influence the nature and extent of the observed effects, suggesting a need for cross cultural studies to explore the variability in the impact of great divorce on family dynamics. The increased prevalence of great divorce prompts curiosity about whether patterns observed in Germany are replicated in other contexts. Additionally, it is pertinent to explore whether various individual outcomes, such as well being and likelihood of experienced separation, are influenced by parental divorce later in life. Now, basically, daddies, right now, if you still have kids in your household right now, if you still have kids in your life right now, you better strengthen those bonds, because if something happens with your relationship, you really don't know if they're going to stick by you in old age. Stop thinking of your job as just to make some money. You have got to create these relationships now. I'm seeing it from so many different angles, saying the same thing. Create relationships, build those bonds. Women, take note as well. Build those bonds with your children. Is going to be crux. It's going to be crutch. No, clutch. I apologize. It's going to be clutch. Build those relationships with your children, with your friendships, with your sisters. Make some hobbies, all of that, because you just don't know. All right, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, share.
Breaking news, you guys. The United States infertility rate is at an all-time low. It's even surpassed France. Remember when I told you Europe was having trouble with conceiving children? They haven't had children in a few months. Well, United States surpassed them, y'all. They're even talking about in a few years, deaths are projected to surpass births. Check this out.
Okay? We got a problem. And it's all something almost no one here ever talks about. We're not having children. United States fertility rates have collapsed. This number's wrong. It's our latest number for last year is not 1.64, it's 1.63. France has a higher fertility rate than the United States. Even when you adjust for their immigration population, they still have a dramatically higher fertility. Most of Western Europe looks like us, and we're worse than a whole bunch of the world. How do you and I set public policy so 25 years from now? Remember, Social Security is substantially a pay-as-you-go system. Today's workers are functionally paying for today's retirees. The trust fund was the shock absorber. Trust fund is disappearing. But my future generation of workers is going to be smaller. And you're already seeing this in school districts all over America, where the number of students they have are shrinking.
I showed y'all that.
Are we willing to have the really interesting discussion of, okay, are there things we could do economically to make it so family formation, so there's more children? There's things we could do to help, but almost every country it's tried has not been able to change fertility rates. I think in Hungary, I think I saw something that, third child, they buy you a house, fourth child, you get some sort of like prize, and it's barely ticked up their fertility rates. It's a really difficult question, happening all over the industrialized world. So if you can't really change it, do you actually build public policy to deal with it? Do you accept the fact that we're going to have a lot more automation? It means capital investment. Are we going to have to find ways to safely adopt artificial intelligence into society so the labor force is maximized in its value and what they earn and productivity? Those are policies we need to work on. You've seen the intellectual capital of the conversations we have on the floor here. How many of them are ready to actually have the reality of, hey, we need to set policy? Is this Republican or Democrat? It's demographics. It's life. And I'm going to bounce to the next two boards because there's a punchline here we need to absorb. This is a little uncomfortable, but this was deaths that are projected to exceed births. And the new math in 15 years, you got to understand what a big deal this is. I came behind this microphone a couple years ago, and I got some real crap that was sent to my office. And I think at that time I was saying, hey, in 21, 22 years, we're going to have more deaths than births in this country. And then it became 18 years. And then it became 17 years. The new math now is 15 years. In 15 years, the United States will have more deaths than births. The blip you see here is the pandemic. But if you actually look at the line, you can sort of understand, and here's our crossing. Somewhere a little before 2040, which is 15 years, we have more deaths than births.
So the United States infertility rate is at an all-time low and is beating parts of Europe. Alabama just stopped IVF and fertility treatments, and people are noticing that there are less and less children in schools, you guys. Do you guys see what's going on in this world? Could this be the reason why there's a lot of migrants coming in to the United States to make it seem like there's a lot more people than there really are? What do you think about that? Remember, you guys, the United States is not the only place experiencing this, but now they are at the lowest. They are at the bottom of the bottom. So yeah, what do you guys think is going on in this world, y'all? This world is getting more interesting day by day, y'all. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace out.
Oh yeah, crazy, right? Because these the same states that are taking away the woman's right to choose. Because see, they believe the children are the future only when they're in the womb. And when they get outside, it's every man for themselves. Keep in mind, these are the same food programs that existed when I was a kid, okay? I'm a Gen Xer. So back in the mid-'80s, when everybody was on summer vacation, child, we used to be at my grandma's house. She'd load us all up in the car and go down to the little neighborhood center to get one of these free lunches in the summertime. Because who trying to feed all them kids in the summertime? But see, people like Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa said, hey, these kids are struggling with childhood obesity. Why are we feeding them? Even though it's a very low percentage of the children that just don't have nothing to eat at home. And Governor Pillen of Nebraska, he just don't believe in welfare because you better pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Do you know that during the school year, some of these kids, the only meal that they have is our breakfast at school and our lunch at school? Can you imagine taking all that away from them for an entire summer?